So our feast day is the feast of St. John Lateran, which is the name of the church, which is the cathedral for Rome. Now, most people would think that St. Peter's in Vatican City is the cathedral of Rome, but this particular church was the first church, the first public church, when Christianity was able to come from underground and be public. We remember the first couple of centuries of Christianity, it was outlawed in the Roman Empire, so the Christians had to meet in secret, and they would use the catacombs as a place where they could have the Eucharist. But then after Constantine made the church legal, they were able to come above ground and be in public. And the very first church that was founded in Rome was on the Lateran Hill. It's named after the family who owned the property. And it's currently dedicated to St. John the Baptist, so it became the Church of St. John Lateran. And for the first 1,000 years of Christianity, it was the cathedral for the Bishop of Rome. And it still is the cathedral for the Bishop of Rome. So when Pope Francis is acting as the Pope, the universal pontiff for the church, he uses St. Peter's in the Vatican. But when he's doing something specific to his role as bishop in Rome, he uses this church of St. John of Lateran. Now, what does that have to do with us? Not a whole lot. So, of these three readings, which all talk about temple and church building in different ways, the one I want to focus on is St. Paul writing to the Corinthians, who said, "You are God's building." We, the people of God, are the church. And the building where we meet has come to be called the church. But we're the church because the Holy Spirit dwells in us. And that's what makes us church. And I think it's an important thing to remember during this time of pandemic, when so many people are worshiping virtually, aren't able to physically be present in church buildings. It's important to remember that we're still the church, that God dwells in us. And even if we can't be connected by taking Holy Communion together, we're still connected. We're still connected by the Holy Spirit that dwells in us. And while we may not be able to shake hands or hug one another, we can hold one another in prayer. And by praying for one another in the Spirit, we can be together, even if not physically. So I think that's important to remember during this pandemic. And the only other thing I would say is that during this time, when there's so much political division that's been shown by the current kind of political climate, that we have an opportunity as church to demonstrate to our fellow citizens how it's possible to be one, to be together, to be in unity in the church, even if we disagree with each other, even if we're different, coming from different places. We can still demonstrate a unity together, even in the midst of diversity.